Hello and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and we're bringing you the first of my standardized armor guide series. So basically what this is going to be is, well, I mean if you're a fan of the channel and you've been around since the first game, you know that when I do my standardized armor guides, I try to make sure I'm measuring just the top layer or the plate armor, the thing that most people look at, and I'm not really including a whole lot of other variables even for roleplay reasons. So what I do is I design a base and I use that same base for all of the suits of plate armor, and that way you can accurately compare how good the actual plate armor components are to each other without considering the fact that maybe you're using a better gambeson or better mail or jewelry or something like that that will affect your overall stats. So with all that being said, this is our first one in the series and it is going to be for the Milanese Plate Armor. Now, a couple things to keep in mind for this video and this series as a whole. One, I will only be using level 3 items whenever possible. If it's a unique item that only comes in level 2 or level 1 or something like that, that's a different story. But for most of the items in this game, there are different levels that you can have them at, and so I'm going to be using the level 3 items, so we have our maximum potential stats on this. Keep in mind, if you have level 1 or level 2 items for this specific suit of armor, your stats will be different, but they will carry across the board. So if a level 3 Milanese cuirass is better than a level 3 Nuremberg cuirass, then a level 2 Milanese cuirass will also be better than a level 2 Nuremberg cuirass, if that makes sense to you. So let's just dive on into it, and we're going to start off with the first layer of the suit of armor, and in this first layer, I'll be showing you the standard clothing that I'll be using for all of these standardized armor guides. And so that clothing is as follows. We have the red variant of the short pourpont. I chose this one because it has the best stats as far as defense is concerned. We have a 14 for stab, 46 for slash defense, and 35 for a blunt defense. We also get a 37 level charisma boost, so that is quite useful in my opinion as far as overall charisma. And if you are considering a solid suit of noble or knight's plate armor, charisma is a consideration. Then for our pants, we have the padded chausses. These have, again, the best defensive stats that I can find for padded pants, and so we have a stab defense of 31, slash defense of 43, and blunt defense of 34. Charisma of 13 on these, so significantly lower, but it also matches the top, so that's why stylistically I went with these two colors, because you could get a short pourpont and a pair of padded chausses that have the same stats, but are different colors, so I chose to coordinate just because, you know, it doesn't cost me anything in stats and it stays consistent. Then, of course, we have the Noble's Belt and the Noble's Pouch. These don't actually affect the weight, but or I should say the only thing they affect is the weight. They don't affect the stats. So each one of them advertises 30 charisma. That just means that it doesn't detract from your charisma level. So if you have everything else adding up to 30, these belts will not make it go any lower. But these are also the best in class. So the Noble's Belt gives you 4 weapon slots, and the Noble's Pouch gives you 4 quick consumption consumable slots. So, like I said, they don't really affect the stats much, but keep in mind that all of these suits of armor that I cover in the standard armor series will include the Noble's Belt and the Noble's Pouch. So that is layer 1 of our armor, the clothing. Let's add on the mail and padding layer. And the second layer, the mail and padding layer, is quite simple. So we don't have anything for the legs because our padded chausses are already, you know, our padded leg armor. But we add on the hauberk long, and there's several different variants of this, all with the same stats, so it doesn't matter which one you use. As long as it's level 3, it will have these stats. So it has a stab defense of 33, slash defense of 68, and blunt defense of 55. So very, very good mail armor, the best mail armor that I've found thus far in the game. Then we have our mail collar with badge. There's a bunch of different variants of this, all with the same stats, except for visibility. So the only reason I went with this specific one, and the same goes for the hood, is because they have lower visibility. This isn't a huge deal. You could maximize charisma. There's a couple of the different mail collars and mail hoods that have higher charisma stats. I just, for fun, decided that I would choose ones with lower visibility, so that would overall, you know, all of the suits of armor would be affected the same way by the mail. So anyway, the mail collar with badge has a stab defense of 27, slash defense of 68, and a blunt defense of 55. Then our mail hood with coat of arms has a stab defense of 28, slash defense of 77, and a blunt defense of 59. So this is our base layer. This is the base layer that you will see in every single one of my standardized armor guides for the basic suits of armor in this game, the ones that I believe are meant to go together, that is. So all overall stats for the base layer, and this will not change in any of these videos, so if you see it labeled as a standardized armor guide, this will be the base layer. We have a total weight of 55.1 pounds, a total value of 3,018.3 groschen, and an AAR, or average armor rating, of 77.9. So none of those are ridiculously high. I mean, the weight is something to keep in mind. So when we talk about the other sets, remember that the lion's share of the weight for a suit of armor is made up in the padded and mail armor. The plate armor actually weighs significantly less than that in combination. The other part is our 77.9 AAR. That's basically what I would consider the base level for armor, because all you're wearing here is padded armor and not even boots, but padded armor and mail armor. So if you're talking about a man-at-arms, this is about as basic as it gets at this time period. So if your suit of armor or whatever does not have an AAR of 77.9 or more, you're definitely very, very lightly armored. That would be the standard that we're learning with this suit of armor. And like I said, value-wise, none of the stuff we're wearing is very expensive, 3,018.3 groschen. So that's our first and second layers put together. Now let's put on the top layer, and I'll show you the special part of this suit of armor. All right, so the Milanese suit of armor is an almost complete suit of armor, and by that I mean it has almost all of the correctly named pieces to make sure that you know as the player that it's designed to go together. I had to sub in one because, and we'll get to that, but you'll see. So the Milanese cuirass is the first item that makes this up. It's pretty much the best cuirass you can get in the game, and the level 3 variant has a stab defense of 134, slash defense of 98, and a blunt defense of 34. So very, very good piece of armor. Then we're pairing the Italian bassinet with it, because Milanese armor is made in Milan, which is in Italy, and so therefore the Italian bassinet is the helmet that goes with this suit of armor. The Italian bassinet at level 3 has a stab defense of 129, slash defense of 94, and blunt defense of 33. Then we have the Milanese Plate leg armor. So this is one of the not very many pieces of leg armor in the game that includes sabatons, which cover your feet. So I know a lot of people will probably be using it for other suits of armor as well, but the Milanese plate armor or leg armor at level 3 has a stab defense of 126, slash defense of 92, blunt defense of 33. Then we have the Milanese gauntlets for our gloves. Again, they're named right along with it, so we know it goes with this set. We have a stab defense of 124, slash defense of 90, and a blunt defense of 32. The only item that we don't have that is named for this suit of armor, so these three are Milanese, this one's Italian, so it's very, very safe to assume that these 4 items are designed to go together. Plus, obviously, the Italian bassinet also looks quite good with this suit of armor. So those 4 are fairly easy. There are no sleeve armor labeled either Italian or Milanese, so therefore, I used the next best thing, which is the highest stat nondescript plate armor for the sleeve slot. So that is the Plate Knight gauntlets. There are a couple that have higher stats, but they're brigantine type, so I wanted to keep this one being strictly plate armor, so that's why we went with the Plate Knight gauntlets. Plus, I think that they look quite good with it. It definitely matches the style well enough, at least in my opinion. So the stats for the Plate Knight gauntlets at level 3 are stab defense of 119, slash defense of 86, and a blunt defense of 31. So that is the entire suit, and the stats for this suit of armor, once you have all of what I've showed you here, are, well, we have a, when everything's clean, you have a charisma of 26 wearing the suit of armor, but as you can see, we're already getting a little bit dirty, so our charisma is suffering, and we don't have any weapons or jewelry or anything like that. Obviously, with high-level jewelry and spurs, you can get this suit of armor all the way up to 30 very easily. But our weight for the suit of armor, once we've added on all the plate armor, is only 79 pounds, so not much more than the 55.1 that we had at our base level. The value for this is 18,413 groschen, so definitely prestigious. A lot more than most people would have the money for, but nowhere near the most expensive thing you could possibly wear. And the AAR for this, we have a head average of 226.7, a body of 209.3, arms of 197.7, and legs of 240.3, giving us an overall AAR or average armor rating of 218.5. So definitely a very, very good suit of armor. Basically anything in the game with an AAR of over 200 is going to be very solid armor, and the max that I've come up with in this game is 230, so 218 is definitely very, very good. So if you want to wear a consistent suit of armor that has very good stats and looks very good, the Milanese plate armor is an excellent choice. But just wait, there's more, because in this game, and you may know this if you've been playing it for a while now, but there are many different color variants of a lot of the different items. So we can actually have an entirely different looking suit of Milanese plate armor that has the same stats as this. So I'm going to show you that one now. The base level will stay the same. Basically, we're just going to be swapping out these top 5 components. And there you have it. We have the option to have a darker variant. So this one is our Black Knight variant. And if you want to make it even more immersive, you can swap out the Hauberk Long for a much darker variant visually. It has the exact same stats, same everything, it's just darker, so it would match the armor a little bit better. But that is our Dark Knight variant of the Milanese armor. So same stats, like I said, across the board, it's all the same stuff. We have the Milanese Cuirass, it's just a black variant. A Italian Bassinet, again, just a darker black variant. The Milanese Plate Leg Armor, same thing, just darker. Milanese Gauntlets, and the Plate Knight Gauntlets. Again, all the same items, just the dark variant of them. So same stats on that one, but two different aesthetics for them. So that is pretty much it for the Milanese Plate Armor. As I go through this series, I hope you follow along and you can tell me whether or not you did the suits differently, or you think different items would pair with them when it's something that doesn't match the name, or whatever the case may be. Now I'm just going to show you some high definition stills I've taken from 3 different angles for each of these suits. So I hope you enjoy that, but that is all for today. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.